Well, I think the first thing is it feels safe and it feels easy to start small. So it's my first recommendation. Take small steps, and then you build confidence, and then you just kind of keep going from there. Certainly that was the experience for me. And I think the other major thing was that I had some pretty profound influences in my life. I had very key people that sparked my imagination or inspired me, or I was in different places where things had already been achieved, so I could see that change was possible. And so part of that was, the privilege of being able to study overseas or travel or be in different communities or have mobility into different sectors of society. That's often been, I think, one of the biggest catalysts for me, is moving between different, getting out of your comfort zone and moving into different places and different groups and different ways of seeing things differently. And then then everything starts sort of cross-fertilizing, and it becomes, you get sort of excited because you can see how you can apply different ideas in different contexts. I think as you make decisions to do something, you be prepared they're not going to work that well, and then you just adapt. So you don't go in there with huge expectations that you're going to save the world, but you just go in there thinking, well, let's give it a try, and you're going to have some fun, and you're going to do it joyfully. And when you fail, you just pick yourself up and you keep going. I'd say that mostly what I've done is go 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And then in those 1 steps back, you just get a bit more savvy and learn from your mistakes. It's kind of basic stuff. I'd say having a mentor, someone to check into, or a couple of mentors, just sort of the wise people in your life. And often those are the people that just tell you to keep true to yourself and encourage you when no one else is encouraging you. Because sometimes you go out on limbs and you sort of leave people behind, and that's a bit hard. I have left people behind, but then eventually you know that things kind of catch up. People catch up with you. I think it's recognizing who you are. Some people like to be at the head of the parade, and other people like to be in the middle of the parade and just know where you want to be. And the other thing I'd say is that if you do know where you are, affecting change can be as simple as just supporting the people that are happy to be at the head of the parade. Because I know I've got a lot of incredibly important people in my life who they didn't want to go out and stick their neck out, but they were there for me. If I stuck my neck out, they'd be there with a cup of tea when I, fell by the wayside and said. So there's this whole it's sort of a big ecosystem of different roles that you can play, and you find the role that you're most comfortable in, and then support the system, support a network, hook into a network that is interested and alive and excited about making things better, and then find your niche. I think that's the most important thing, because none of these things happen in isolation. It's all just building on other people's good ideas and seeing how you can take it a bit further. And I think the biggest questions I've had have always been, do you try and change from within, or do you set up a parallel structure? And I've tried both, and I think both are great places to start. It's often you find that you try and change things within, and you realize it's not really. It might have a little effect, but maybe it's not that useful, and you could just simply step out and do something. Just do something equivalent, but not within the old structure, and then you suddenly find that there's a lot of movement and energy, and it's simple. And so change happens. It's just so fluid. You kind of go, it's like water. You go where the good energy is. And so that begs the question, so where do you start? I think you start where you feel comfortable, but that you're pushing your own comfort zone. And if you are pushing your own comfort zone, then you know that there's a bit of dynamic tension. And I always talk about the intertidal zone. That's where you got water and land and fresh water and salt water, and it's an area of tremendous productivity, but it can be a little bit dangerous at times, and sometimes you're exposed, and other times you're submerged, but it's vital. It's a great place to be. And if you know that you're someone that wants to be kind of in that intertidal zone, you just find your niche. Maybe you're just a barnacle, but you're still experiencing. You put down your roots and you take the big waves and you take the calm water and you just do your thing. And other people might be like little sculpins. They just come zooming in on the water and then zoom out again and try a little something and then zoom back to the safety of what you're used to. It's just where you feel that you can expend your energies in the best way, and where you see you fit into the big ecosystem.